Hello everyone, my name is Putty and welcome back to another edition of the Dunes of Utapau Lightside, and welcome back to session 78 of Naboo. I am joined, as always, by His Excellency, the Right Honourable Proprietor of the Suez Canal and the conqueror of all of the Arabian Peninsula circa 1994. He is, of course, Corey Wadsworth, the 3rd Esquire, Knight OBE, and of course his tag team partner, Marshall Peterson. How are you two doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing great. Ever since my trip to Arabia in 1994.
Yeah, it seems like you got a lot done.
I don't feel like it, considering all the problems that are apparently going on over there.
Yeah, but you profited. Who cares?
You conquered.
I am an oil baron right now, basically.
You're not there to like make people's lives better. You're just there to own the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, Marshall, why don't you recap last week's session?
Everyone had a big party at my house, and we all said, "Hey, no, just kidding." Last week's session, we all came back to the village in Naboo, and we decided, or the town, not so much village, but the outpost, the settlement, if you will. And we all came together, and the two of us came together, and decided to talk about how we were going to get off the planet. We figured out that there were only a limited amount of options at our disposal of how to get off. We ended up deciding to get involved in an investigation of Atlas, because apparently Tommy Atlas has been accused of murder. Now, I'm at this point fairly convinced that he is at least involved to a significant degree. We have this new wrinkle about his cousin, but I don't know, man. We'll see how that goes. But basically, last episode we investigated his murder a lot. I think wasn't that the entire episode. Basically, I think I improved my lightsaber. We did a little bit of we found out that the dark side party is on a cruise line, or was on a cruise line. Now they might be anywhere. Who knows?
I do.
Shh. Don't look at the map. Okay. Anyway. But yeah, do you have anything to add to?
Nope.
That's my line.
That sounds perfect. Absolutely nothing wrong.
What'd you say, Putty?
I said that's my line. I usually do you have anything to add, other person?
It's a coup!
So we rejoin the party, and I think what better place to start than in the steamy bathhouse of Naboo, where Kasari has arrived.
Die! No, just kidding. I start looking around for his cousin.
You see Glendissa. You saw Glendissa when you walked in, kind of with her eyes closed, relaxing on the far end of the bath.
I walk up and I say, "Glendissa, it's me from earlier. Kazari."
Kind of grumbles as she you can tell she was napping. She says, "Oh, hello. Can I help you?"
Yeah, I just found out some information. I was wondering if you could help me out with this.
Sure. I was hoping just to have a relaxing night, but if it's important, then...
I was hoping not to have to clean up a murder, but we don't always get what we want, eh? Anyway. All of a sudden, Kasari becomes a beat cop. This is her life now.
She says, "But are you sure this can't wait until morning?"
Eh? You better make hay while the sun's shining. So,
you see the moon shining upon you.
Anyway, it's an expression, of course. So, I actually found the device, the remote control, or well, we found the device, the remote control to the flash box you mentioned. Thank you for that information.
There were many remote controls. Many flashbacks.
We found the one specifically to the one found at the crime scene.
Did you tell her before that there was one found at the crime scene?
Nah, I don't actually know.
Yeah, we'll say that you didn't then. She says, at the crime scene?
Yep. Sure was. I say, now, the reason I wanted to talk to you about it is there's an odd wrinkle in all of this. We found your...
Wow. If this place is good for anything, it's getting out wrinkles, she says, looking around the bath.
Okay. I say, yeah. So, we found out that your fingerprints was on the remote control. I wonder if you could explain that.
Of course they were. I helped Jake put together a lot of those boxes.
It wasn't on the box, it was on the remote control.
Which is a part of the mechanism that controls the box.
So you helped him put together the remote controls too?
We considered it to be a package deal. That box is useless without the remote control.
I see.
What's your discipline?
It's gonna be... Actually, I just upgraded it last at the end of last episode, so it's gonna be 3 red. What the fuck? What happens? I know she's lying, but she also is a Sith Lord and kills me.
You notice as you look a little closer when she's talking to you about this kind of stuff, that the sweat around her face isn't necessarily from the hot bath, and she's very clearly nervous about this topic. However, you see the look in her eyes, the desperation, the fear, and you really hesitate to want to push this further. You sense there's something there that would be painful.
Well, wait, painful? What, in what way? To her? The murderer?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, to her.
I don't give a shit. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's fine.
No,
that's just the impression you get.
No,
Actually, I do
care. I do care.
Check to push on.
I do care. I do care. What else? Whoa. Toe, are you okay? Toe might be dead. That's okay. Anyway.
You wouldn't be the first person to die.
Yeah, it's true. In history, certainly not.
No. The people I think are the majority.
Yeah, for sure. That's why necromancers are so scary. Anyway.
It's fine though. Toad's in the scene, so hopefully it'll be fixed by the time he gets back.
Yeah. So, I sort of sit there and I consider like pulling out my lightsaber
in the bath.
Her. What?
Do you put your feet in the bath?
Sure. Is it poison?
No, it's quite. It's shockingly hot when you put them in. But it doesn't take long to adjust, and it's quite relaxing.
Much better. Okay, just like make screaming noises.
It's a surprisingly nice night, isn't it? She says, looking up at the stars.
I say, yeah, it is.
Things have rarely been so calm on Naboo.
I won't lie. The main reason I'm investigating this case is to get a ship off of the planet.
Tommy has a ship, she says.
That's why I'm investigating the case. Tommy said I could use his ship if I got him off. Unfortunately,
he always has the resources, doesn't he?
Unfortunately, so far, there's been a shocking amount of evidence against him in the case. And almost no evidence for him. I mean,
I'm not surprised.
Tommy and your brother, they were friends, right?
Jake was my uncle.
Oh, fuck. God damn it. I don't... There's too many connections. Okay. It's like
I wouldn't say friends. They were family. You see a tear start to drip down one of her eyes. But I guess he cared about business more than the family. Marshall?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. Just making sure, because it's a micro disconnect. So.
Yeah. No, I heard everything. I was just thinking.
That's fine.
At least I think I heard everything, unless you read the Constitution out in between lines.
Yes, let me return to Article 50.
Okay. Article 50. So I say, do you think your brothers much care about, or your other family members much care, even if Tommy did kill him?
No, they all not. She stops herself for a second.
Kasari on the case.
They all. I suspect none of them actually think Tommy did it.
Okay, so, yeah, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna have to ride through it.
That's cool.
They all suspect that Tommy didn't do it?
I'd imagine so, yes.
But what if Tommy had... Well, you think he did it. What if they thought he did it? Would they still go with him?
I think to them it's inconceivable he would do it.
Inconceivable?
Yeah.
Why is that? They know Tommy. Tommy's a criminal.
He's a criminal, but he cares way more about family than anything else. He'd never wittingly put a bullet in one of his own family members' head.
Oh!
I mean...
This is literally like fucking... I mean...
Up until now, we never thought he would.
You know you got girl!
Anyway, it's getting late. I should probably begin. If you wouldn't mind, and she ushers as if to say she wants to get out, but I suspect she might not be wearing much.
He'd never knowingly do it? Tom. Okay, anyway, I am going to let her leave. And
after, yeah, I guess you go behind a wall or something, and she's gone.
Okay. And then I'm going to head back to the crime scene, see if everyone's freaking out.
Okay, in the meantime, Slash, are you with us?
Yes.
You notice the autopsy officer walk up to one of the investigators and whisper into his ear. The investigation officer responds surprised.
So, are you going to go and pick her up, or...?
I don't think the evidence is strong enough at the moment to deal with Glandissa. However, new development just came up. I need to return to the office, and the two investigators begin to leave.
Okay. Have fun with that, I guess.
As they leave, Kasari arrives.
You know, they were planning on arresting you if you weren't the Jedi.
Ha! It's good I'm a Jedi, then.
You shouldn't run from crime scenes like that.
Why? I didn't do it.
Because it makes you look really guilty, or like you're going to interfere with the crime.
Oh, well, we're kind of already doing both of those. Oh, wait, no, not the first one, but... Anyway, I found out of some interesting things. I spoke to Glandissa again, and she definitely knows more than she's letting on to. I'm not sure if she's necessarily responsible, but she's certainly lying about something. And she said something I found really interesting. She said that Tommy would never kill one of his own family members. And then she sort of backed up on it because she, until then, had been telling me that she fully believed that Tommy killed one of his own family members. I thought it was an interesting line. So Glendissa, at the very least in some way, doesn't think Tommy did it. Either deep down or because she knows more than she's letting on. So I say we waterboard her. I'm just
You're getting 5 conflict and the ship to the other party arrives. It's kind of scorched.
The ship to the other party. It's like an escalator.
Well, for some reason, they're not going to push Glendessa, investigating Glendessa, the police. But apparently a new development has arrived in the case at their office.
What'd they say it was?
Nothing.
Oh.
They just left.
Well, fuck them. Let's go after them.
Oh, okay. Sure. I guess we walk towards their office in the embassy.
Yeah, you get to the embassy and it's about like 11 o'clock at this point, and it's locked.
Damn these people.
You hear a lot of mumbling from inside and a very irate voice.
He's still on the phone. What do you mean they got off the cruise? Okay, anyway. I say, maybe we should check in on Tommy. I can't think of much else right now. Or we could, I don't know, like, knock really loudly.
Or we can go to sleep.
Sleeping's for the losers. We could go to sleep, though. That's fair. Do you want to go to sleep, Sless? Does Sless look
I am
like
very
he's falling
tired.
asleep? Aw. Okay, Slessy. Let's go. Wait, do we even have a place of rest?
Nope.
The hospital's not locked and has beds.
Hey, let's go there.
Sure.
Living the high life.
We have enough money to like find maybe like a hotel or something.
We got free beds though.
Alright.
You guys go to the poorly kept and dimly lit hotel where you suffered some agonizing rehabilitation over the last couple of days, with a smashed needle on the floor from when Celeste wrestled it off of the woman. You make sure not to step on the needle and have a wonderfully casual and nice, comfortable bed rest, recovering all strain and recovering 1 wound. You wake up around 7
2
PM.
wounds, I'll have you know,
Yes,
because Trandoshan. Ooh.
Mhm.
Whoa, there's a little tension there.
I mean, I was very racist to Trandoshans in the Dark Side session yesterday.
Oh man.
Wasn't very racist. It was
It's
just kind of
only
racist.
natural.
It was like Cedric was saying something about the Mandalorian diet because they had Mandalorian bacon aboard the ship. And I was like, it's pretty much the same as the Trandoshan diet because it was like a bunch of big meat.
Oh man, that's a little sad. Okay.
Sad because it's true.
Wookiee meat.
Hey now. Just because there may have been a little bit of Wookiee eaten in the past does not mean all Trandoshans eat Wookiees.
It sounds like
No.
that though.
Now, whether or not Sless has eaten Wookiees, that's up for debate. He will neither confirm or deny, but he will say it's very racist to accuse.
Indeed.
But he has never denied. And it'd be so simple to say that you don't eat the flesh of your enemies after murdering them.
As you head outside the hospital, you notice that there are a lot more investigators around the house, around Jake Reese's house. Taking pictures, kind of having conversations, writing notes. There's probably about 9 of them.
After whose house? Jake's house?
Yeah.
I walk up. I say, hey, what's the case going?
It's going okay. We've had a very interesting development last night, so we're keeping things a little tight-knit, because, yeah, I think we're getting to the closing stages.
What was the development?
I'm afraid it's classified information.
I look. Can I say? I say, you know, we're representatives of Atlas, and it would be very important to us if you told us. Can I roll a?
It's a negotiation.
Negotiation check. All right.
Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
It's gonna be hard to step back because this is breaching protocol.
Whew. Here's the thing, though. I think I gotta remove those setback. Hold on, let me check. Plausible deniability.
Deception.
No, not negotiations. Only every other type of persuasion ability.
Not charm, right?
Yeah, charm.
Wow.
I have kill with kindness.
Oh,
so
yeah,
remove one setback per
like...
rank of kill with kindness from all charm and leadership checks.
He's a Han Solo type.
So I'm gonna definitely flip a point of destiny.
If Han Solo hunted down Chewbacca and then ate him alive.
I'm gonna add I'm gonna upgrade.
Yeah.
Die. Oof. No. Now
I can understand your agitation, but if you are representing the client, then I'm sure all this information will be shared with you on Corellia in a couple of days. Hell, if you're representing the client. Never mind.
Are you implying, officer, that our client might be getting off based on this new development?
You see, he's about to turn around and head back to the scene, ignoring you, but then he does turn around and say, "You may think that, I couldn't possibly say."
You think it, damn it! I heard
the other side of the other side of the house.
These cops are trying to fuck us over. They're corrupt. They're cooking cops. Are you with me, Sluss? We're gonna kill them all. No? Too much? Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Not enough.
Let's all calm down and figure out a solution.
Honestly, I think the case has gone out of our hands if they're not willing to tell us anything.
Celeste.
And by that, and because of that, we might have to plan an escape.
What the fuck? No! It seems like he's about to get off. This is the time we don't criminalize him. And ourselves!
No, this is the perfect timing, Toe. Don't listen to her.
Alright. Sluss magically teleports into Atlas's jail cell.
And then is like, oh shit, I can teleport. And then teleports inside the jail cell.
Just gets a huge buzzsaw and starts cutting at the bars. You may ask why he doesn't just teleport Atlas out of the jail cell, and that's because that would be wrong.
Or maybe because his teleportation powers can only work on himself.
No, he just needs to learn from Goku. You can touch someone's shoulder and use teleport, and they'll come with you.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, how would your clothes come with you?
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's everything you're touching. Unless Nexus is buck naked and not.
But I'm touching the planet right now.
Unless it's like.
It's true.
Unless it's like teleportation. I think the way they do teleportation in Harry Potter is one of the most clever things of the series. Because it's like they have to target a point in space, and if they fuck up their calculation, they'll rip their own arm off or something. It's I always thought that was interesting. So you could teleport multiple like people and things with you, but the more things you're teleporting, the more likely you're gonna cut someone's arm off.
But there's always just a magic shoe.
A magic ship?
Or a magic shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Or a magic fireplace.
Of course, yeah. Port keys and, I forget what the fireplaces are called, but fuck it. Anyway, yeah, so, you guys, wait, what? I think I just had a stroke. Anyway,
what are you guys up to?
I look around. What are the rest of the officers doing?
They're all kind of talking amongst themselves. Some are taking photos of the outside of the house.
And this is Jake's house. I walk up to one of them and I ask, how does... Oh, wait. This is Jake's house, not their family home. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Actually, so I'm gonna... Can I try to listen into some of their conversations?
Sure.
Obviously, without them thinking I'm doing it.
Yeah. So first, I'll say make an average perception check. With one setback, because you're trying to do it stealthily. And then make a hard stealth check. What? With one setback, because you're trying to listen.
Why have this setback then? Why not just make the checks? This is weird.
Because you succeeded at listening in, but failed at doing it stealthily. So,
I still ask, why do we have the setback if we had to make 2 checks? That's weird.
Because you're bad at each of the individual parts, because you're multitasking.
I just think the multitasking sorts itself out because I'm bad at both of the parts.
I think you're being unreasonable.
I think you're being... Anyway, let's continue.
So, unfortunately, you are detected quite early. However, you do catch a few glimpses of what they're talking about. A lot of them seem dumbfounded. They're like, who would have thought? And then they kind of look at you and scowl. But you do manage to catch one of them say, not the bullet, before they look at you.
I go to Celeste and I say, the bullet didn't kill him! The bullet didn't kill him! I don't scream that, though. I just whisper it. I think the flashbox must have killed him. Or something. It wasn't the bullet, though. Based on their report. Let's go talk to the... What do they call him?
Isn't it more likely that when he hit his head, the glass is what killed him by a damage?
Sure, though. What left that fucking bullet hole in him, though?
I don't know.
Well, so I'm thinking
maybe
it was some shrapnel.
Maybe the box leaves powder.
What? No. I mean the hole in his skull. What? What?
Yeah, the powder burns.
I don't know what the question was. I'm like, what? Anyway, look, I think we should talk to the, I can't think of his name. What's the name of the guy who does the autopsy?
The autopsy of the coroner?
Yeah, the coroner. I think we should talk to the coroner. He seemed really nice and cooperative. He would know what this new bit of information is. Do I see the coroner here on site?
No.
Okay. Okay, guys. I say we head back to the station and find the coroner.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you head back to the station then, the jail cell area, and the official is there if you'd like to ask him about it.
I say, do you know where the coroner might be?
Ah, yes, he finished up the Jake Reese investigation last night and was called out for an emergency relief effort to the north. Turns out a bunch of Gungan refugees had their home collapsed yesterday, so a lot of them are injured and indeed. He was
yes, the
highly qualified. He was the most highly qualified medical professional we had left after the doctor left, so we sent him out there.
Jesus Christ.
Poor guy.
I would wonder what would cause such a tragedy. Sluz begins to stare blankly.
That's why we usually have 2 medics at the hospital, but the one from Alistair just disappeared.
I
Probably
wonder
just
what
decided
would
to
cause
leave.
that tragedy.
Gosh.
So many tragedies here recently. I'm pretty sure the other
Indeed.
doctor just ran because she's like, fuck this shit, people keep dying. The Jedi keep murdering people.
No, she ran because Celeste like scared her.
Oh my god, Celeste, you're responsible for that too.
Yes.
Celeste, you're a cancer on the galaxy.
Wow.
I'm not responsible for the other guy dying, though.
That's
fair.
Cedric and
That's
you,
fair.
maybe a little bit.
That's a Cedric and yeah. Wait, me? What did I do?
You took him to the spaceship and left him with Cedric alone.
Okay, I didn't think Cedric was gonna murder him. For...
That's fair, but you still have a little bit of negligence there.
That was nuts. The dude was trying to save Cedric's life, and Cedric murdered him. Okay, anyway.
To think that a kidney stone would be all that it takes to turn someone to the dark side.
Kidney stones. Anyway.
The underappreciated member of Kill for Cancer.
Let's talk to Atlas.
Alright, he's right downstairs. The official leads you down. Immediately, he stands up and says, "Good morning. Did you rest well?"
I did.
Not really.
Oh.
Is the autopsy finished?
They did finish the autopsy.
Good, he says. And his interest immediately wanes and he sits back down.
Why were you so interested in the autopsy report, buddy?
It's an important step in any investigation. I'm sure it will prove my innocence.
Why do you think it specifically would prove your innocence?
I mean, it's just the start of their further investigation. What's your discipline again? Three red?
3 red. I swear to God, so far everyone's been lying. Everyone's lying!
Well, you know Tommy's a good liar, so hey.
Tommy's the Sith Lord.
Okay. Okay, hun.
Hun? What?
Attila the Hun. Let me find it. Oh, there he is. He's actually not as good as I thought he was.
He just has been rolling super well.
He's still pretty good, though.
God damn it, this son of a bitch. He's really good.
Yeah, you believe him. You think that he just thinks it's gonna lead to more due process. However, of course, he's always got some sort of scheme going on behind those eyes, but you can't read it. But you can tell that there's something off about everything he says, but you can't figure it out.
Ugh.
It won't be long. We should be able to depart this evening.
This evening? You think you're gonna be off by this evening?
I mean, my estimates are usually a little out, but I hope so.
I think I know what they found in the autopsy report.
Good. It'll serve you to have the information, right? You're trying to get me off.
I think they found that the thing that killed Jake is not a gun.
Hmm. Well, that would be curious, because I saw him blow his brains out.
Yeah, it would be curious, wouldn't it be, Tommy?
What is that supposed to mean, young Jedi?
It means I'm not sure if your story adds up.
Why is that?
Now I have to think about all the evidence we gathered last episode. It's fucking hard to remember. God damn it. And Tommy's beautiful eyes are gonna gaslight the fuck out of me. Oh,
Look into them.
Once it's just kind of like watching this really awkward conversation.
Stop. Okay, anyway, I say, I run. I kill the official for Tommy. It's what he'd want. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I say, well, there's just a lot of odd things. For example, there's the blood on the ceiling and the broken chandelier.
It seems odd.
There's the flash device found on the scene.
Not odd. Jake manufactured those.
Yeah, but it was hidden, and it was used.
Jake hides them so that the Republic won't find them. He doesn't want to start selling them too. Used. That is curious.
It was also positioned directly at a 90-degree angle between where you would have been sitting and where Jake was.
Positioned in his favorite spot, behind the tapestry.
His favorite spot.
You saw the house. Pretty much everywhere else the Republic would have no qualms going through. But the tapestry takes a keen eye to notice that.
Aww. Celeste begins to blush.
Good job. And then there was the stuff buried in the backyard.
They're superstitious folk, the Rees. I'm sure it was for some sort of spiritual enlightenment.
I think it was the fact that he buried the remote. The remote was buried, as well as all the glass on the chandelier.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. If something broke in a Rees house, cleaning it up by burying it in the backyard sounds like something they'd do.
To be fair, the chandelier was probably broken. Was probably broken as he died.
Atlas.
I don't have the evidence to support that, and you said the remote was too.
I want you to be as furry as anyone here, though I'm questioning Kasari's motivations. But you do realize your fingerprints were on yours and what's her name's? Aressa?
Glendessa.
Glendessa. And Glendessa's were the only ones on that thing.
It's his arse.
I kill Kasari. Yours and Glendessa's were the only one fingerprint.
Whenever I would come over, I would occasionally look at his creations. It's not that surprising.
Well, do you think Glendessa was responsible?
Never. What's your discipline class?
Oh, fucking shit!
It's 2 billion red dye. It would be 2 purple dye.
He looks at you and firmly and resolutely says, never. And you think to yourself, you know what? That was a stupid question. She was his niece, and they clearly loved each other a lot. You kind of feel embarrassed for asking the question.
Alright.
And you also want to kill yourself? You see Tommy wave his hands as you begin to tie a noose around your own neck.
I'll add 4 stars.
I say,
these jokes just to fuck with you guys.
Oh,
I'll look at him and I say, you're right. However, if there is anything that you can tell us, I think you should tell us now.
Told you everything I know, and I've
Oh, I
done more
don't.
than
I
that.
don't get it. I don't get a check.
What do you? Oh, I mean, you can, but with those 2 triumphs, you're kind of feeling a little embarrassed around him. So I'd say no. You don't even get to roll dice. Your social checks bounce off of him at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And he says, yeah, I've gone further than tell you everything I've known. I've even indulged with going through the evidence with Kasari there and explaining why it's not suspicious at all.
it's so suspicious.
He looks at you both. Jake Rees killed himself 2 nights ago, and it's better for everyone if if that is the story that ends up at the end of this
Out of character. Now I want him to be fucking framed. I don't give a shit if Atlas is innocent or not.
Calm down, Slash.
Remember the ship, Slash.
Yeah, we need a ship.
I'll just ask to see the keys for a few seconds, and I'll just wipe them away.
Are you
I
kidding?
could probably do that.
This guy is a Sith Lord of criminal shit. He will be like super good at not being pickpocketed.
No, his keys are in a box in the embassy, remember?
He probably knows. He has eyes everywhere. He's paid off the officials.
Right, you know, he says from the game.
Oh no. No, I mean, yeah, we look. Personally, I just want to get down to the bottom of it. At this point, I don't think Atlas did it because Glendissa was convinced he didn't do it. I think Glendissa probably did it because you said, I mean, out of character, I think it's confirmed Glendissa did it because you were like, did Glendissa do it? And he's like, no! Rolls discipline check. So
hey, it could be a red herring.
Could be a red herring. Or
I think he's rolled a deception check on him doing it last session, so.
I think the question wasn't the question. I think the question was something like, no. I don't think I asked him did he do it and he rolled a deception check. I think he rolled a deception check on the roulette story because that was weird. On whether that was true. I asked him if he did it. No, I'm just kidding.
I turn to Kassar and I say, I don't think we're going to get anywhere talking to Atlas.
Yeah. Let's check.
Did you say this in the room?
No.
Yes.
No. Shit.
There's no response.
Let's go to the police station. Or not the police station. Let's go to the crime scene.
All right,
how many times do you want to go to the crime scene?
Well, I just want to see if anything's changed. Seems like every time we go there, something new happens.
All right.
All right, you head back to the Reese house, and there's a new person there.
See?
A rather large human male with a brown overcoat who seems to be ordering everybody around.
Now, when we're talking about large, what kind of large?
He's
like,
pretty tall.
Oh.
He's also pretty tall. He's like 6'4". You know, he's a big guy.
Oh shit. He's as tall as me in real life. Now I'm just picturing me in a trench coat.
Here you go.
So, Kasari, there's your new thing.
I walk up to him and I say, who are you?
Hey pal, my name's Dick.
What?
Dick Gracie, I presume.
Dick Shoehorn. Nice to meet you. I'm an ace investigator from Corellia. I just landed here at the medical center yesterday.
Holy fuck.
Sent me out on speeder here after they learned anyway. What can I help you for?
What'd they learn?
Well, this is a rather unique case, pal. It's going to be a real interesting one when I get back to the capital.
Is it?
Yeah.
In what ways would you say it's unique?
Well, there've been a couple of twists and turns in the investigation, but I can't really tell you everything about it, pal.
Oh, I'm sure you can give me a few details.
Sure. So the victim was found with a bullet hole in his head. And the story from the accused is that they were playing Russian roulette. Now, the victim and the accused know each other.
Russian?
They're family, in fact.
What
sorry,
is
Rodian
this,
roulette. Rodian roulette. The victim and the accused know each other. They're family, in fact. Part of this big crime family that spreads well, most of this quarter. Split up, though. A bunch of different factions. You got the Jackers and the Atlases and the Rees and all sorts of other families laying around. So I imagine there's some inter-family turmoil going on, especially with their criminal roots. And with that Jacker stuff going on Corellia right now, there's a lot of attention on this.
Out of character, do you think that Darth Vance and Merkava are going to help the Jackers on Corellia?
Are you asking me or Putty?
You.
Oh.
Because Putty could actually answer me.
I think
this is just an out of character thing.
I doubt they're gonna help them. They might, but honestly, I think they mainly murder everyone they come across.
They murdered one of the Jackers.
One piece of relevant information is that you know that Helda was working with the Jackers from your Malastair viewings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but now they're fighting with fucking the Hands of the Sith, so I think that makes it even more unlikely that they're gonna work with the Jackers.
Wait, now that I think about it, was that girl who played Snake on board the ship when Cedric left?
She wasn't.
Oh. Why haven't we talked to her in like an entire 2 days? 2, 3 days?
You haven't seen her. You haven't seen her around anywhere. She wasn't at the hospital. She wasn't at the embassy.
She's dead for sure. Anyway,
oh no.
I'm thinking Cedric ate her.
I say, after we're done with this, I think we should look for her.
Yeah,
I'm actually kind of worried.
We might want to check in on her. So I say to the investigator, I say, yeah, and that whole thing about the bullet not being the thing that killed him, that was crazy, right?
I'm gonna have him make a cool check.
Putty sees what I'm doing.
It's gonna be pretty hard because you sprung it on him.
I sprung it. Yeah. He
wins.
He just starts sweating and drops his donut and coffee.
He winces a little bit and like scratches the back of his head and he says, so you know about that, huh, pal? Well, Republic security ain't what it used to be, huh? Yeah, that's one of the more interesting parts.
I say, don't worry, we work for the Republic security. Though we're kind of just joining the case. Can you tell us a little bit more, since you are already here?
Make a hard deception check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, no! Dice! Why do you do this to me?
Aha! I've worked with Special Branch before. I know you guys don't get your information without warrants. So, don't worry, I passed the tests. Don't go reporting on me. I won't tell you anything unless you got the warrants. Thanks for letting me know.
God damn it, Celeste! I beat the fuck out of him with a baseball bat.
Well, I guess it half worked. You believed we were Republic security.
Anyway, I gotta get back to work. These numbskulls won't direct themselves.
I say, Detective, do you mind if I have a look at the crime scene again?
It's been on lockdown all day. But if you're Special Branch, I suppose I could give you a quick look. 5-10 minutes, though. And he leads you inside, unlocking the door with 4 keys.
What the fuck? Okay. The first thing I'm gonna do is head to the flash box.
The flash box is no longer here.
Oh, fuck! Fuck! I just start kicking things. Okay. The second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for signs of shrapnel around the walls. See if there's anything that looked like something impacted the walls, tiny pieces of something like nails or glass, or anything that embedded in the walls from an impact or explosion.
Alright, when you make a, I'm gonna say daunting perception check. You're looking for
Do you want me to assist you?
Yeah, please.
Okay, well I have 3 ranks of perception, or I can give you 3 green die.
Man. Whew. I'll take the ranks.
Okay.
Oh, baby. You have Destiny available too. There's 2 lights and 1 dark in the pool right now.
Sure, I'll flip Destiny.
No, you're turning this fate against us.
Hey. Fate's with us for now.
So you are arcing your back. You are looking in the most minuscule of places. It is a very straining hunt. You both take 3 strain since you were doing it together. And you do find no shrapnel or explosion residue, but you do find some pieces of glass around the wall, around most of the room.
Oh shit! Do you think the flashbox had a glass case, like not a glass lens, and it broke? And a piece of shrapnel is what hit him on the side of the head and killed him?
I think that's certainly possible. Now, here's the main thing I have that confuses me. If it was from the... And I'm with you. I definitely think that has something to do with the flash... I can't think of anything else besides the flashbox or the chandelier that would have killed him. But here's the weird thing. The flashbox was on his left side, and the wound was on his right side, which means I think he still was shot, but I think he was shot after the fact, after he was dead. I think Atlas shot his corpse. Or something weird. Because, like, I don't know how the flashbox could have wounded him on the right side of his head. Like, I can't think of a way that's possible. Unless you can. So, I think it's possible that the shrapnel was so small that maybe it entered the left side of his head, killed him, or maybe his neck or something. Oh, I feel like we would have seen his neck if it... But I think it entered some part of his body in such a small entry point that it wasn't obvious. It killed him, and then for some reason, Atlas shot his body to make it look like...
I'm not saying that if Atlas did shoot him, it was probably to make sure he was dead. Seeing it as his opportunity.
No, I don't think so.
What do you think?
Wait, what? Who's talking?
What do you think?
Who the fuck's that?
That's Buddy.
Oh, I thought that was the investigator. I say, I genuinely don't think Atlas killed him. Well, one, based on his fucking silver-tongued devil charm, but also, look, his Glendissa, which I definitely think is involved, seems convinced that Atlas would never kill one of his own family members. And honestly, it kind of makes sense with everything we've learned about him. I mean, all of his motivations seem to lead to the fact that he wants to build a very strong internal family business. And killing family members, even if they're part of a rival branch, probably... I don't think he'd do it. I mean, once again, I don't have any proof that he didn't do it, but I don't think he would have. I think he would have had some other reason to make it look like he got killed by a gun. Maybe because he cares about his family so much that he would rather cover up the murder and make himself look guilty than blame Glendissa. I bet he knows Glendissa did it, but because he cares about his family so much, he forgave her for murdering him and decided to accept the blame himself. Because in his mind, the utter pragmatist that he is, after the man's already been killed, there's nothing you can do about it. He would rather save another member of the family than lose 2 members. And I think that was what was going through his mind. So in the moment, he decided, instead of blaming Glendissa, which he somehow knew was responsible, he sort of almost semi-framed himself and tried to make it look like an accident at the same time.
Interesting. Well, either way...
Your, 10 minutes, pal. Ready to get out of here?
I say, hey, there was a flashbox in here before. Where'd that get taken to?
We talk a lot of the evidence over to the embassy.
Do you think I could have a look at that?
No, you're really twisting my arm here, pal.
Yeah, wouldn't want anyone back in Corellia to find out all the information that your officers have been telling us without warrants, huh?
Why don't you roll a average coercion check?
This is how business is done.
Can I assist him in any way?
You can say something, but it may end up backfiring.
I'll kill you. You just stay behind.
Well, I would probably say, shit. I don't.
Maybe just...
I was thinking about bullshitting him by name dropping someone.
No.
Do we know any of the names of the officers?
Then this becomes like a deception check.
Well,
yeah, you don't know any Corellian police officers, really.
No, I was talking about any of the police officers working here.
Not unless you as Toe know that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then never mind. I can't assist you, I guess.
Fuck.
Hey, now, pal. Listen, I've been very reasonable to you lot, so why don't you get off my case and let me get back to the investigation, huh?
Fair enough. And I pat him on the back and say, I'll buy you a donut later.
Hey, I like donuts.
I knew he liked
Make sure
it.
you get the pink ones with sprinkles, pal. Sprinkles.
Of course. And some coffee.
Yeah, I like it black. He begins walking.
Jesus Christ. He likes his coffee like he likes his women.
Wow.
Okay. So,
That would be a good time to mention that we are under Phoenix Right martial law, and so if you don't prove innocence within 3 days, he is executed.
Fuck. Tommy's real confident for some reason. Tommy doesn't know the martial law of Naboo. Oh, I mean of Corellia. Well, he should know Corellia's martial law. I don't know. Maybe it's a galaxy-wide thing. Maybe Tommy's really just he never read about it. He's like, what do you mean they're gonna kill me? Okay. I say we head... I feel like the flash box at this point has the evidence we're looking for. So, I say we go to the embassy and talk to someone there about seeing it.
Okay.
Cool.
You head over to the embassy. It's very busy. You hear an irate man in the corner saying, Are you a giant fire snake rampaging around Coronet City? Now pinch yourself 3 times and call me back. And he slams the phone.
I say, did you say there's a fire snake on Corellia?
Some prankster over at the Corellian embassy trying to tell me the Coronet City is on fire.
You might want to check on that, man.
I mean, what are we supposed to do about it, even if it is true?
Yeah, why are they calling you?
The embassies like to keep us up to date. Plus, they think they have a lead on that Sith Lord. They think he's involved.
With the giant fire snake?
Yeah. He apparently was registered arriving on Corellia only a few hours before it appeared.
Yeah, are they planning on arresting him or what?
Well, they tried to go after him, but currently there's a giant fire snake.
So you don't think it's a joke?
I mean, look, if I'm going to believe any of the information they sent me, I'm going to believe all of it. I don't believe all of it, so I'm going to wait and see. Maybe there's not even a Sith Lord. I need to sit down.
What the fuck? I say, if I help you out with your issue, do you think you could get me a look at some of the evidence from the case?
My issue, he says?
Yeah, your whole issue, man.
You're going to have to be a little more specific.
Come on, man. The thing.
Alright, it's a deal.
Oh no, what did I just sign on to?
He doesn't seem to know either, if it makes you feel any better.
I say, what do you think would help you with your communications job?
Nothing. I'm known as the best communicator this side of the East Line.
You seem really pissed about everything all the time.
Get shit done.
Huh. So you love your job and you're not really stressed out?
I love my job. I'm a little stressed out, but I get 3 months a year off.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to help you then.
Okay. Thank you. He gets back on the phone. Now tell me again. Giant fire snake? Alright, okay, you're clearly not bullshitting me. He opens a new, like, notepad. Begins scribbling.
This guy.
The former senator's house?
What? My God, the developments continue. Okay, I'm gonna look for an officer, someone who works here, or a person that works here.
Near the corner where Celeste first talked to the justice officer, and you examined the evidence, you can see the justice officer and 2 officers looking at a bunch of evidence.
Is the flashbox there?
Yeah. It is.
What was the name of the head detective? His name was Cujo, right? Or Krubo.
Dick Shoehorn.
What?
Dick Shoehorn.
Dick Shoehorn. I knew it was weird. I walk over and I say, "Hey, Detective Shoehorn was wondering if anything else was found out about the evidence, especially the flashbox."
Let me make an average deception check.
God, I gotta stop making these.
With 2 boost.
Oh, good.
For the name drop.
Should have sent Slesson still.
It's okay, buddy.
Yes! Oh, look at those boost die coming in clutch. Ah.
He says, well, yeah, we figured out what time it went off. It was about 4 hours before we originally thought the victim was murdered. But that lines up perfectly with... Anyway, we'll tell Mr. Shoehorn when we talk to him.
No, I got you. It lines up directly with when you now think he was murdered based on the coroner's report. I'm all up to date. Shoehorn, talk to me.
Good.
Oh man, I love this. Does it, based on what I just said, it looks like I was just right? Like they don't react weirdly to everything I just said?
They don't react really good at all.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Kasari's on the case. Okay, so if the flashbox went off when he was murdered 4 hours before, then that means they think the gun was fired 4 hours after, because that's what they think the original murder point was. So I think my theory's kind of coming together here. The flashbox killed him. I say, oh yeah, he wanted to ask, did you find any parts of the flashbox also that were missing? Did it look like it was maybe, you know, had any chunks left out of it or any components that weren't supposed to be there?
No, it's a weird device. We don't know too much about it, and it's hard without the schematics. But from everything we can tell, and we're going to send it over to the engineering core in approximately 2 hours, but from everything we can tell, it went off without a hitch. And this is how it's supposed to be.
Of course. Fuck. Okay. I walk back to Sluss, and I say, well, maybe the flashbox didn't kill him, because I feel like it'd be obvious that there was something wrong with the flashbox. Maybe he did die from hitting the chandelier with his head. Maybe it's as simple as that. The flashbox went off, scared the fuck out of him. He stood up really quickly, smashed his head on the chandelier. He died, found out that Glendissa... What if Glendissa didn't murder him? What if Glendissa was playing a joke on him? What if Glendissa played a prank on him that went horribly wrong, and Atlas, caring about his family, decided to cover it up and make it look like a game of Russian roulette gone wrong?
Rhodian
roulette gone wrong. What do you think about that?
You know, you people keep on talking about these Russians, and I'm
sorry. But so, what do you think about my new theory, Celeste?
It's a theory.
I mean,
a game theory.
Oh God, where's that coming from? I'm gonna go to Glendissa's house.
I don't think you know where that is.
Doesn't she live with her brothers?
Oh, you're gonna go to the family house?
Yeah.
Okay. You knock and notice. As you knock, the knock sends the door open. That's how poorly in repair the wooden door is the front of this house. It's not wooden, it's like scrap metal. And you can hear just a runctious, rowdy table inside.
I say, excuse me, is anyone there?
They ignore you entirely and continue like throwing food across at each other.
I walk in.
They ignore you.
I yell.
You don't see this.
Where's Glendissa?
They all like stop for a second and look at you and say, "Huh," and just carry on.
Wow, these guys are dumbasses. I walk out.
Pride and joy of the Atlas family.
Yeah, clearly.
They're not Atlases, they're Reese. Don't lump them together.
I'm gonna go to the bathhouse. Is she there?
She's not. Lots of Gungans are. Including one Gungan lady that's being interviewed by a detective.
How do I... What? Oh.
What?
Did we... What?
What?
Did we know a Gungan was interviewed by a detective, or did you just, like, give us meta information?
No, you said you went to the bathhouse, and he said there's lots of Gungans, including one of them, which is being interviewed by a detective.
Oh, who is being interviewed right now by a detective?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said who had been interviewed by a detective, and I was like, well, how do we know that shit? Okay, I sort of walk up and sort of listen in. What are they saying? But I pretend to just be like a customer at the bathhouse.
All right, I'll say that I'll just make you like you're pretty inconspicuous. Inconspicuous, right?
Yeah.
That's the word. So I'll say you don't have to make the stealth check, but make a hard perception check.
Damn it.
The Gungan seems very worried and very concerned, and the female detective is trying to calm her down, but you don't glean any words.
I try to find an attendant who, like, works here.
There are two around the front of the bathhouse. They say, hello, how can we help you?
Hi, someone came here last night, a Glendissa,
Reese, yes,
Reese.
we know her.
Yeah, I forgot their last name. Yeah, Glendissa Reese. Do you know where she lives? I was trying to catch up with her.
She lives down by the Gungan on the cul-de-sac on the west side of town.
What does her house look like? Or does it have a number? Do they use numbers?
It's the only one without a door in that neighborhood.
That's weird. Okay, I head there. What's with the Reeses and not having good doors or not having doors? It's apparently a theme. Was the door at Jay's house shitty?
That's pretty good.
But no, it required 6 locks to get into.
Well,
no, that was the detective. Yeah, the detective.
Yeah.
When you first arrived, it didn't look like that. They've clearly put some locks on that door. But
I like
it was
to
better
imagine
than
it's the locking system that Jake always wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably fair. Celeste, are you doing anything while Kasari is off detective hunting, or are you just tagging along?
I'm just kind of watching as she goes about not really asking for my assistance or anything, so I just like, okay.
So you head to where you now know Glendissa lives?
Mm-hmm.
Seems dark and dimly lit from the outside. There is no door.
I yell out and I say, Glendissa, you there?
Some of the Gungans in the surrounding houses come to the window to look at what's going on, nosily. Nothing happens inside the Glendissa's house.
I walk up to one of the Gungans and I sort of wave them out.
Out? Oh, okay. Kind of
not
relatively
like,
elderly.
Not like using the force powers. I'm just like asking if I could talk to them.
One of the Gungans, a little elderly, but not as elderly as the former Gunga Show tribe member you spoke to a while back, comes out and says, "What is it, dear?"
Do you know the woman who lives here, Glendissa, where she might be? Where she's been off to?
She headed out to the shipyard this morning carrying a box.
Oh, fuck.
She hasn't been back.
Shit, she's gonna steal Atlas's ship! We start sprinting there. Come on, Celeste.
Alright.
Okay, you sprint down to the shipyard. You see absolute wreckage from all the old ships that Cedric destroyed on his way out. And you notice a very, very nice ship that is that is there in there's there, and the cargo bay thing in Jenga, technical term, is open.
I head inside with.
This is what the ship looks like.
No. But that's the Ebon Hawk.
Zara is aware of such a ship.
No.
You head in, and there's clearly some noise going as someone seems to be preparing a room.
What do you mean preparing a room?
Unpacking probably would be the best phrase to describe the noise.
I walk in.
You see Glendissa putting some items aside. The box she has is clearly Tommy's belongings from the embassy. She seems shocked, and she looks at you. What are you doing here?
Are you trying to escape?
In a manner of speaking.
Does Tommy know you're stealing his ship? I'm guessing not.
I'm not stealing his ship.
Borrowing?
Yes, he knows.
Are you taking him with you?
Yes.
Glendissa, I'm fairly certain that I have a theory, and I want you to tell me if it's right. Did you accidentally kill Jake?
She thinks for a second. She doesn't keep eye contact with you, and then she tries to storm out of the room.
What are you doing? I'm in the middle of a conversation with you.
She storms out of the room and walks down the hall.
I follow her.
She's heading to cargo.
I continue to follow her.
She walks down the steps into cargo.
What is she doing once she's there?
Do you continue to follow her?
Yeah.
She's walking out of the ship.
I'm just gonna wear her down. I say, Glendissa, stop. Just talk to me.
She doesn't stop. She's walking into what seems to be the plains now.
What are the plains?
They're plains of grass with some ponds and some animals.
I mean, sorry, are they on the way back to the settlement, or like?
No, they're away from the settlement.
She's just straight up heading into the fucking wasteland.
By the way, buddy, I just want to say that when they walk off, I probably stay in the ship.
Okay.
Celeste takes the ship.
That's what I'm thinking.
What?
I'm thinking of taking it. The keys are left in here, and all there's. Aww. Well, time to learn how to hotwire a ship.
Okay. I just keep following her.
Probably takes like an hour, but eventually she gives up and she sits by a pond.
I knew it!
Crying.
Yes, I win.
Crying her eyes out.
You lose, bitch. Oh, she's sad. Now I'm sad. I sort of sit pretty far away from her, and I just let her cry for a while. And when it seems like she's not like fully just losing it, I say, you know, the Jedi, we don't mourn like most people. I'm not very good at crying or feeling sorry about people I've lost, because I've always accepted that they were going to be a part of something better than they were.
She looks up at you and says, I was finishing his latest flashbox, and he came home.
Oh, fuck. It's happening.
He was drunk.
Pull out the recording device.
He was restless. He came at me, and I felt the same as I always did. But this time I just had enough, and I was done, and I didn't know what else to do, so I reached for the remote and I pressed it. And it was so quick I couldn't do anything. And then he was there, glass in his skull, laying in front of me. And I didn't know what to do. And then he showed up, of all people. Fucking Tommy. Always with a plan, always with an offer, always with a deal. Said that if I came with him, he'd make sure everything was okay. So I took the deal.
It was self-defense then. It was an accident. It's not your fault. Why did you feel like you had to take his deal? I'm sure the authorities would have believed you. Actually, I'm not sure about that now that I think about it.
They don't look at us settlers the same way they look at you citizens.
Also, from an out-of-character perspective, I probably would, even if she felt safe around the police, how would her family react?
That's fair. Well, honestly, probably, do they give a fuck? Like, those jabronis. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they would react to that badly, but they seem like some real assholes. I say...
I'll be right back, by the way.
So, what does Atlas plan on doing with you? Just taking you back to Corellia to work for him?
He said he didn't want me on Corellia. That it's going to be hard work. I'm going to Corzite. It'll be nice to see Polly again.
Corzite's an interesting place. Their casino there is very nice.
Yeah, I've been.
And if you ever want to sneak around, it's got a very good air vent system. I've used it myself.
I hear that they're having problems with the air vents. That there's some birds or something.
Tropical birds, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about them. They're not as dangerous as everyone says.
Yeah, apparently Tommy said he had a really good exterminator.
Oh no. I don't like the sound of that. I'm the birds. Does that mean Tommy's hired?
You were the exterminator.
Oh no, that's right. Never mind. I totally forgot. Yeah. I say he's got the best in the biz. I'm at the guy or gal. She's good at her job. Anyway, I say, well, have you ever been to Solace before?
No, Tommy has though.
Tommy's been to Solace.
Yeah.
What for?
Spaceships, I think, or maybe weapons.
Well, there's a problem that comes to my mind. Currently, as it stands, the investigators, they have a lot of evidence. They know that it wasn't a bullet that killed Jake. They know it was the flash box. The problem...
Yeah, that's why Tommy figured that out, and that's why he told me to take the box and get on the ship ready.
Is Tommy escaping?
He thinks he'll be let out now that they finished the autopsy.
But they're gonna come after you.
Tommy thinks it won't be long after he gets out before he can leave. He thinks that we have enough time.
Well, that's all good then. Celeste and I are coming with you, by the way. That's part of a deal we made with Tommy.
It's always a deal.
You don't seem to like Tommy.
I don't mind him. I respect Tommy. He's blood. He's family. And he saved my butt. But I don't know. There's something bubbling. And I think one of these days his ambition is going to get us all killed.
I think it's interesting having the kind of connections you do. I grew up an orphan. My parents died when I was very, very young. Before I...
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay, I didn't really know him. But my point is, I never really had any familial ties, so it was just natural for me to join an organization like the Jedi. But so far it seems that families just complicate things more than anything.
It's a complication worth having. Love is hard, but it's also the best thing we do.
Well, Glendissa, I'm glad you didn't murder anyone. For a little bit there, I was worried you might have. And I was almost certain Tommy did at the beginning of the investigation. And I stand up and I pat myself off.
I'll head back to the ship in a bit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry if this
time.
is a little traumatic for you.
It's pretty traumatic.
Jesus, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I probably made it worse. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you just wanted to know.
Well, maybe I can make it up for you while we're traveling. I can teach you some Jedi stuff. I'll see you.
She acknowledges you and then starts skipping a stone in the pond.
Okay. I head back to Celeste, who's apparently trying to steal the ship.
Celeste is eyeing up the control panel in the cockpit as you arrive.
Okay. I say, okay, Celeste, we're going to be leaving soon. We just basically have to wait until they let off Tommy. We're pretty sure he's going to get let out by the end of the day.
I say, alright. I then put my hands away from the controls.
I say, you can stay here if you want. In fact, probably should to make sure that Tommy doesn't try to leave without us. I'm going to head back to the town and try to... I mean, you can come with me too if you want. But I'm thinking of heading back to the town and just keeping track of when they actually do release Tommy. And I'm also going to keep an eye out for the girl we've lost.
Well, do you want to keep an eye on Tommy and I go find her? Since you seem to be very invested in this.
Sure.
Alright. I'll do that then.
You go looking for Claire.
Yeah.
Okay. You end up searching a while until you find her out in the backyard of one of the Gungan houses on a data pad playing Snake.
I tap her on the shoulder and I say, Claire, you've been gone for a while.
Oh yeah, I assumed you guys were up to something, so I stayed with this Gungan family and, well, practice Snake.
They're my family.
I also hacked into the embassy's computer systems, but that was just for fun.
Oh.
This whole Tommy Atlas thing is pretty interesting, huh? She says, showing you the autopsy report.
What?
I look at the autopsy report.
It says cause of death is blunt force trauma and cuts.
I say, yes, very interesting. Speaking of Tommy Atlas, he's letting us have a go on his ship once he gets off.
Oh, is that ship out there his?
Yes.
The security systems are rad. It took me 2 days to get into them.
You know...
Way harder than that old ship you had.
You know, you're a crazy person.
Yeah, I'm a Mandalorian. Deal with it.
Wait, she's a Mandalorian? Was that a
She
thing?
begins walking towards the ship.
And she starts killing people. Wait. She begins walking towards our ship? Our new ship?
Yeah.
Is she gonna try to steal that shit? Or
No.
Oh no, she's coming with us, okay.
Sounded like she broke into the security systems out of boredom. Nothing else. By the way, I say, you know what happened to our old ship? I'm assuming you've probably been keeping track of that as well.
Well, I saw some lightning in the sky.
Oh no.
Oh, I figured if you packed in the embassy reports, they would have mentioned the fact that Cedric is now a Sith Lord and stole our ship and destroyed almost the entire shipyard.
Honestly, I suspected you were all Sith Lords. She continues walking towards the ship.
You know, I don't dabble in none of that voodoo shit, I'll have you know.
I'm with you. Papa always said those Jedi are charlatans.
You know, I agree. Yeah, I guess we head back to the ship.
Okay, Marshall, you arrive at... Actually, wait, Marshall was supposed to be... Wait, what was Marshall supposed to be doing again?
All I'm doing is keeping an eye on the Tommy situation, seeing when they let him out.
Okay, after about
Actually,
an hour...
you know what? I'll play like solitaire or something with Tommy while we're waiting. Wait, you can't
Okay.
play solitaire with another person. I'll play... I don't
That
know.
is the solitary.
I'll play euchre. It's a Midwest game. I'll teach it to Tommy.
Tommy seems to pick it up very quickly, but you beat him most of the time.
Yeah.
And eventually, Dick walks in and says, "Alright, pal, you're getting out." Excellent. And my keys. I'm sure they'll be returned to you. Excellent. They unlock his handcuffs and let him out.
And he just starts murdering people.
He begins walking towards the Reese family home.
I walk after him real quick and I say, excuse me, Tommy. How long until you think we're gonna leave?
As soon as I've had a word with the boys.
Very well. I'll leave you to that. I'll meet you at the ship.
Okay, you arrive.
Unless you'd like my help, and then I leave.
He laughs as you leave, and you head back to the ship where you find Sless and Claire.
Okay.
Do you guys just wait for Tommy, or do you have anything to say to each other?
I say apparently she was living with a bunch of Gungans and also managed to not only hack the entirety of the embassy's files, including the information we could have used for the case, but also this ship, out of boredom.
Holy.
She shrugs and says, "I told you I was a hacker."
You must be one of the best. That sounds insane.
You are way better than Merkava, I'll tell you that.
Hell better. Oh,
That's
man.
how I actually make my living. Snake doesn't pay that well.
Yeah, of course. It is
Slus
literally
begins
just
to
Snake.
tear up and he says, "I do wish it did."
I'm with you, buddy.
If she can't make a living on Snake, Slus has no chance.
Hey, their skill level isn't that much different.
Yeah, I remember I just got really unlucky on the die roll when I was going against her.
Well, actually, in the game, it's in the story itself, you got freaked out by all the chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
In a no-chair environment, Slus would do great.
No chair? Yeah, I've been in some of those tournaments. They're weird.
I say, are you able to hack systems on other planets?
It's difficult. I need an access point with a large enough range. There's probably a computer in the embassy I could do it from.
How long do you think you could do it? Or how quickly do you think you could do it?
If I had access to the computer, and it costed 20 minutes, maybe?
I don't
And
think...
it depends on the planet and system. From there, I think I'd be able to access Coruscant and Corellia easily. They seem to be sending communications back and forth daily. Other Republic planets, not too bad. Non-Republic planets, will depend how much they have contact here.
I don't think I can get you unaccosted access for that long. I think we'll just let it be.
She knows.
You know, much like I did, she doesn't really understand the whole difference between the whole Sith voodoo and the Jedi voodoo. You might want to explain that to her so she doesn't get confused when she sees you shooting your lightning and them shooting their lightning.
She laughs and says, "I'm not confused. I'm just not interested enough to pay that much attention."
Oh. Alright.
And anyway, the Sith are rarer.
I thought that too, but apparently they're just so weird. You know they can bring people back from the dead? You think they would talk about this kind of stuff?
That seems weird.
Actually, I know what I'll do while we're waiting. I'll try to heal my leg again using the stone!
Da, 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 da.
So I believe it's a hard
Kidney
medicine
stone!
Indeed.
It is a hard medicine check. Well, combined first part check.
Yep.
I do ask Claire if she wants to play Snake.
She agrees. You do not heal your wounds. But using the dark side, you could heal some wounds.
No, no! I'm good.
So,
After some, it's just a practice game, Snake. She doesn't go too hard. You don't have to roll anything. You know, you get better at it. And eventually, Tommy arrives, flanked with at least 8 men.
Shit.
Alright, now which one of you boys knows who to fly? Alright. And he points
Wait,
one of the...
I hold my hand up and I say, I know how to fly.
How good are you? This is a pretty expensive ship, and I owe it to
consider myself good enough to fly through the asteroid field on Malice there and not die.
That's some talk, he says, throwing you the key.
I nod and I head over to the control panel.
What do you think? Nice, huh? I think I'll probably have to give it back to Kang after all this business is over.
Give back to who?
Nice. Some guy I know.
I nod and say it is pretty nice ship. Could have used this during the Mandalorian Wars. I turn it all on. And
Oh, you were in the war, he says?
Indeed.
Were you at Malachor?
It was established whether or not I was at Malachor. I think I might have been. I think it's possible I would have probably been at Malachor.
Okay.
I nod.
He just nods back at you, a sign of respect.
And then I begin to take off.
Okay. Kasari, do you have anything else to add before you leave Master Naboo?
I say, so, Tommy,
Yes.
our first stop, Solist.
Do you want to stop by the Republic Medical Station first?
Is that on the way?
Yes, it orbits one of the moons of Naboo.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
Sounds good to me as I try to move my hand, my right hand.
Solist is a fine planet. I have a lump of ore here in the storage bay from there.
You like Solist?
Yes, it's there are good shipbuilders there. Innovative weaponsmiths. It's a horrible planet, but what they've managed to do with it is incredible.
Okay, well, I wait for us to take off. I get strapped in, or whatever you do when you take off.
Yep, and you guys spend a few hours heading up to the Republic Medical Station, which docks you very nicely. I will actually switch the music. I'm not sure if I still have medical station music from the Dark Side party.
This is where Tommy reveals that while we're getting healed, he just takes the ship and leaves.
Suck a dick, dumb shits.
Hey, you guys would be better off than where you were previously, I suppose.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
leapfrogging.
Now we just need to, do the galactic equivalent of hitchhiking all the way to a new planet.
So you guys arrive at the planet and the station and begin docking. Tommy seems to look at you two as if to say you're pretty much the only two that needs these services.
Okay. We get off.
No. Yep.
One
Go.
second.
Does that son of a bitch leave immediately?
No.
Okay.
Yes. No. You're greeted by a number of humans, as well as a single elderly Kaminoan, who seems very happy to see you. She says, "Hello. It is not often we get to treat a Jedi."
Goddamn Caminos.
I say, it's that obvious, huh?
She looks at your robes. A little.
Well, yes. My leg was badly injured on Naboo. There was a wild, dangerous creature there.
What kind of creature?
I'm not exactly sure. A strange... What would you describe it, Celeste? Like almost like a lizard fish?
I believe I succeeded a little bit on the xenology check, and I think to at least recognize the creature.
Yeah, I think you were able to figure out it was called a collar clawfish.
It was a cola clawfish.
Ah, I know the species. I've studied it. I haven't seen one in person. Must have been terrifying.
Yep, snapped my leg real good. I've been limping ever since then. Also,
It really was coming for me, and then all of a sudden, as if though God himself decided otherwise, he decided just to bite Kasari instead.
It was rough. Also, I had a bad encounter with a former associate of mine, and I lost my hand here.
Ah, we have many prosthetics here, if that is what you are interested in.
Speaking of hands, I hold my hand up.
What's wrong with your hand?
It's broken.
I see.
My right hand is...
We're all fucked up.
This wasn't the Kala clawfish. That thing didn't actually harm me that badly. This was from a giant clam.
I see. Well, our system is simple. In times of... we were designed to treat people during the war. But outside of the war, the only payment we require is a sample of your DNA while we are treating you, and we will treat you free of charge.
I say, why do you need DNA?
Republic experimentation.
You're not creating clones, are you?
Clones? What a preposterous idea.
Yeah, who would do
I think
that?
at this point, the Camino are just
What's your discipline, Bizarre?
3 yellow. Or 3 red.
God damn.
Yes!
When she says clones, what a preposterous idea. Well, she says it blazingly, and you can tell that it was almost sarcastic.
I say fine.
Excellent. We have prepared the tanks, real Bacta, none of that Colto. We're state-of-the-art. We were the greatest battle station during the war. Were you in the war, Jedi?
No, I'm very young.
Ah, no matter. I always like to hear war stories. Treats the Jedi and her Trandoshan friends.
Kaminoans are so
And begins-
fucking psychopathic.
They are literally Nazis in the EU war. They wipe out entire portions of their population based off of what eye colors they have.
Also, I will say that both of you, without even a check, would know that they're really rare. This is probably the first one you've ever seen in person at this point in time in the Republic systems.
Are they famous? Do I know what they even are?
Nah, you probably don't know what this alien-like creature is in front
hey,
of you.
lady, you got a real long neck. No, I don't say that. I just go with them.
And they submerge you in Bacta.
Okay.
And you fall asleep into a deep, deep sleep. You're falling tired. You're getting sleepier and sleepier. On the count of 10, you will fall asleep when I click my fingers.
God damn, Freud.
No, you guys sleep it off. You guys are in the Bacta for at least a day. And then you wake up. You definitely seem to have some incisions in your body where DNA has been taken. But Kasari, you have the prosthetic, and everyone's crits are healed, everyone's wounds are healed, everyone's strain is healed. You are bueno.
Alright.
They also have 5 complimentary stim packs for each of you.
Aw, wow, this place is nice.
It's state of the art too. If you've been wandering around, there's wonderful food at the cafeteria. It looks like it is a top quality medical station.
Yeah, they're definitely making a clone army. Anyway, I guess I go back to the ship.
When you get back to the ship, Claire perks up and says, "You know, you're talking about interplanetary hacking."
Sorry.
Oh, me? Yeah. What about it?
This place has some pretty nice tech.
It definitely does.
Not great defenses, surprisingly. Patient record, experiment records.
What experiment records?
A lot of it's off-site. They seem to be sending a lot of stuff to Corellia, Cyphar, and Utapau.
Interesting. Who's sending it there? The Republic?
Assuming so. It's hard to distinguish. It's whoever controls the station. They seem to be somewhat independent, but Republic-sponsored for sure. It was set up during the war, and at the time it was mainly just a Republic medical station, but since the war is over, they've had to become more commercialized.
I'll be right back.
I have a feeling they're sending DNA to those planets.
Yes, it's obvious from some of the reports that they're sending DNA, but not to all of them. To Cyphar, they sent this weird virus.
Virus?
Well, they don't say it's a virus necessarily, but the effects seem weird. They it strengthens muscle tissue by destroying brain tissue. That seems like a virus to me.
Oh,
I'm
man.
back.
Charles is more stupid now, isn't he?
What did I miss?
We found out Charles is a dum-dum.
You don't know that for sure.
He's dumb as shit, admit it. Anyway.
What did Charles do?
The hacker just said that they sent a virus to Cyphar that increases muscle tissue but destroys brain tissue. I think that's what Charles has. I think it's possible that he used that. If he did, it means he's dumb. He's even more stupid. Oh, okay.
Utapau is even stranger because recently they sent a scientist there.
A scientist, you say?
Yeah. The name is here. I just need to break one more. There it is. Shada Ordito.
Yeah. I was worried you'd say that. It's the only scientist I know, so of course it's her.
You know this woman?
It's the only scientist I know, yes. Yes, have I ever actually been in a room with Shada? I've been in a room with her sister and her brother. I don't think I've ever met Shada.
And technically, I've been in a room with her brother. You were in a forest. With
I wasn't in a room with any of them then, because I was in.
That's true.
The whole.
You were on a beach with the other one.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, you've experienced life as her in the Force Vision.
Oh, because I haven't even seen her. I don't even know what she looks like. Man. Oh wait. Maybe I do because I saw, through the other Ordito, I saw the family members. So maybe I saw her through that vision.
Yeah, but they were young.
Okay.
So it's unlikely she looks like that now.
Fuck. Okay. I say, I haven't met her, but I know of her. Read a lot about her. She's done some terrible, terrible things to the people of Malastare.
Her name is the second most protected thing on this station, so I'm not surprised.
What's the most protected thing?
Whatever's on floor 102.
Oh, son of a bitch! I kind of want to go there now.
I wouldn't. Looking at the security, I don't even think I could crack it. Imagine what kind of physical security they must have.
I find a lightsaber can blow past most physical security.
I think you're in for a tough one there.
You're right, there was that one door I couldn't crack. That one time.
Also, did you know that lightsaber has a tracker in it, and she points at showers on your hip?
What?
Yeah.
How the fuck? God, you're so helpful. You're just amazingly good at this. What? A tracker?
Yeah, I can't find it physically, but it's definitely the lightsaber is giving out some sort of signal.
Could you tell who's picking up the signal?
I'm afraid not.
How far does the signal go?
It's a very strong signal. It's definitely interplanetary.
Trying to think back. Were we ever tracked down in an inexplicable manner by the Sith?
It's weird. There seems to be 2 layers of tracking on it. It has a large signal, the one I mentioned, but it also has a very small signal with a little more information behind it. If you want, I can try breaking that down a bit.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm actually going to physically open up the lightsaber and begin to look for parts that aren't Jedi.
They all look Jedi to you.
What?
Yeah.
I show her all the individual parts, and I say,
I don't think I can't find the physical tracker on them anywhere.
That doesn't make any sense.
I decoded the information on the more personal signal. It seems to be some sort of identifier. The signal seems to say who it belongs to. It's not you, it's some Zabrak lady.
Yeah, it was my old master.
It's weird. You don't... This signal is very unique. It's usually used for droids to tell... It's usually used as an identifier for droids in office buildings and such. It usually put these kind of... The personal tracker on it, not the big planetary one. That's usually put on ID cards so droids can tell who they're talking to in an office environment.
So you think someone likely has been using this lightsaber to communicate with droids?
I don't know if that's the case, but certainly whoever had this lightsaber would be identified by it to a droid. A Zerka series droid, to be specific.
Zerka, you say? What kind of droid? Just any
droid? Any droid. I just know that I can tell from the signal that it's modern Zerka, about 10 years old at the latest, but before then that they probably wouldn't have this kind of coding. Other manufacturers could pick it up too, but this is definitely the majority is going to be circuitry.
You are super helpful, you know that?
Oh, thank you. It pays to be. For example, all of the information I lifted off of this medical station, I'm sure many companies would be very interested in. She smiles and begins walking away.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but the medical company seems like they're up to some shady shit. So I feel like it almost cancels out. God, Toe, do you think we should crack floor 1-2, or do you think we should just head to Sullust?
I think that whatever's on floor 102 is probably their prerogative.
Probably some badass loot. No, I'm saying Toe, not Celeste. I know Celeste doesn't want to go there.
Whoa!
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 Whoa! No, just...
Honestly, I don't want to go there at the moment, mostly because I'm pretty sure that if we do, we're going to get really injured, and then the only people we know to heal us will be pissed at us.
That's so true.
I call it the temptation floor.
But what if there's something really cool up there?
Yeah, we thought bad about the giant fish that tried to kill us too.
It's true. It's true. Maybe we should just cut our losses for once. By the way, question: does my prosthetic hand, does it look like a hand, or does it look like Luke's fake hand from Star Wars?
It's very rudimentary. It's clearly mechanical.
Yeah.
They didn't put any skin on it.
No, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I say, well, you know, I don't want to get killed going up to it, but okay, let's roll.
All right.
And as you guys set a course for Sullust, because of some scheduling to do with the campaign, we are going to end the session an hour early. So that's where we're going to leave it this week.
I really want to go to Sullust.
Don't worry, because Sullust is going to be very exciting. Because I'm pleased to announce for the second session this week that Sullust will be a joint party adventure.
That's not good. I'm not happy about that.
I will. I'll let you guys.
The other guys are evil. I don't know if you know this.
No, like so. Be prepared when you arrive for a little bit of downtime more than usual, but to obviously circumvent that a little bit, I will try to check enemies your way for one thing. And whenever the dark side are playing, you may use the light side destiny points to upgrade their checks. You have full control over the light side destiny pool when they're playing. I won't be upgrading their checks. You guys will.
Wait, so they won't be actually with us? We'll just be recording the same time? Or what?
No. Well, you'll both be on the planet.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Shit. This isn't good, boys. Well, why don't you sign us off, Toe?
All right. Well, that was an exciting little adventure. Fine way off Naboo, huh? Yeah, let's see where we go with this in the future. See you guys later.